Okay, so taking a look at our API documentation for create new beer, we are doing an HTTP post, but the one thing we did not do is a location, so a reference to the created beer. So this is very common to do when you're creating an object to provide a value back, because you saw how I went in, I created that object, then I did a list to see if it was actually created, but I don't know if it specifically was mine, so I don't know a way for that. For create operations, it's typically considered best practice return back a location header. So 201 with an empty body is perfectly fine, but you should have an HTTP header with that value in it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to implement that. I'm going to toggle over to IntelliJ now and go ahead and implement that. So I'm here in IntelliJ, and what we want to do is create a new object. We'll creatively call that headers, new HTTP headers. So this is effectively a map operation here. And I misspelled that. So IntelliJ wasn't happy about that. Now what I can do is say headers, and I can do put location, and here we're going to be at API. We'll just give it the path here. API v1 beer slash, and then we want to concatenate in the ID. So from the save beer, get ID, the string value of that UID, like so, and required. Let me pause this for a second. Sorry, I used the wrong method, so that should be an add. I'm adding in the header. So my mistake there. A put is going to add a list. So that's why I was getting that mismatch there. So that creates the headers object to return. And then response entity does have several constructors to it. So what we can do is add in headers. So that what we're doing is we're creating a headers object, and then we're adding it to the response entity, still with the created status. We're here to run. We do have DevTools going, but I'm just going to make sure that we start up properly. So that is going ahead. I'm going to toggle over to Postman now. In Postman, let's come back to our post operation and do an application JSON. And we'll call it JT77, just giving it a distinct value. And now what I can do is go ahead and send that. You can see that we're getting a 201 created again as the response. But now if I come down and look at the headers, you can see that I have a location value. And now in the location, I'm getting that UID. So if I copy this UID, or actually I can copy the whole path. So if I copy the path, go to Git, this is the path that I returned. Make sure that I didn't make any mistakes there. Now if I do a Git operation of that, you can see that we are getting a not found. That's because I did a double slash. Try it one more time. And now we can see that looks like everything worked. It looks like I'm not setting the version property, so that was an oversight. But now we can see that the ID is coming back, Mango Bob 77. That is the unique 77 that I used coming in. So that is the object that we did create. Let's come back over here to IntelliJ and just double checking that. So what we changed in this is we added in the HTTP headers object, and then we're binding that to the response entity. So it's this code that is giving us that location value back in the header. So now when a client using the REST API creates a new beer object, it will get back the location of that beer object, including the unique ID of what we created. So this is considered best practice for working with RESTful APIs, is to return back to your client information about the object that was created and the header property called location.